Hey, what's going on? Doc Danny here with the PT Entrepreneur Podcast. And today we're talking about how to use gratitude as fuel. And then this comes from our head coach. His name is Courtney Morris, and he works heavily within our Rainmaker program. These are people that are just starting their clinics, or they're very new and they're trying to grow them to a point where they can go full time into their clinic. And in my opinion, this early stage is the hardest group of people to work with. Mostly because mentally, like on the mindset side, it's the hardest stage. It's where your confidence can waver the most, and you just don't know if you're going to be able to like make it work or not. And as well as if you're juggling, let's say you're working full time somewhere and you're doing this on the side, because you have people that depend on you, and you can't take the risk to go all in on yourself. You might be switching back and forth a lot, and nights and weekends you're trying to get your business to the point where you have enough volume where you can go all in, and it's a very, very stressful stage. And he put something in our Rainmaker group that I thought was really good, and I wanted to read this and kind of explain my views on this and why I think it's important to keep this in mind. He said, gratitude is fuel. So you may not be as far along as you want to be. Your business might still feel very early, messy, or slow. But don't forget this. You took control of your future. Most people settle. Most people complain. Most people stay stuck. You didn't. You stepped out. You bet on yourself. You're building something from nothing, and that's worth being grateful for. Gratitude isn't just a holiday thing. It's a strategy. Be grateful for how far you've come. Be excited for how far you're about to go. So when we think of gratitude, it's funny. Gratitude is one of those things that it's like you see on an Instagram post that some person has put up in quotations about some sort of gratitude quote that they like, and it's sort of this thing you see in passing. It almost feels, it always feels like somewhat fake to me. I don't know. It's like I don't have time to be grateful. Like I'm fucking working. Like I'm trying to get shit done. But here's the thing with gratitude, and this is so accurate because we can be grateful for a lot of the progress that we have, as however small that might feel to you or however big that is. And people who are high achievers expect to be able to, do things that they want to do. They are the most susceptible to feeling frustrated, stuck, can get borderline depressed when they're not seeing the momentum, not seeing the gains that they want to actually have. And the whole thing with gratitude is that you want to take some time to appreciate how far it is that you've actually come. And the way that I like to think about this is, if I could go back in time and talk to myself 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever number you want on it. If you go back and tell yourself where you are at now, how would that, person in the past feel about that, right? Like if you went back a couple years and let's say you started your own business and you told yourself a couple years ago that you'd done that, you had the courage to make this massive change in your life and that you were betting on yourself for your own, financial and time freedom going forward for you and your family, they would be fucking stoked for you. They would be so excited. They'd be like, damn, I'm a badass. I'm doing it. Like, this is so exciting. And you're sitting there frustrated because you haven't quite gotten where you need to go just yet as far as your volume goes to hit your goals that you have for the year. That's fine. Like, be okay with not accepting where you're at, but also don't forget how far you have actually come. And gratitude is just such a powerful thing. It's like, it's so helpful to, center you around the work that you've put in, not just on the business side, but even your family, even your health, just these other buckets that we don't put as much emphasis on, especially as business owners. I bet you so many of you know exactly what your revenue is and what your business goals are, but how many times have you had dinner with friends this past year? Like, most of us are not tracking that. It doesn't mean it's not important. And you should be grateful for the relationships that you do have. You should be grateful for the health that you have. You should be grateful for the family that you have. And you should be grateful for the opportunity to work towards a business that you've decided to set up and grow. Now, this is just newer stage businesses, but let's say you're bigger, you're trying to hit $1 million this year and you fall short. Let's say you get to December and you're like $950,000 in gross revenue instead of $1 million. And I've been there. I literally had a year where that happened to me and I was bummed. I was super bummed. And I'm like miserable walking around the house. And, my wife, we've been married for a long time and she knows when I'm being mopey. And, she's like, what's wrong with you? What's going on? And I said, man, I had this goal, didn't hit it, whatever. And she laughed at me. She's like, are you serious? Like, how can you be mad about this? Like, what would you have thought a few years ago if this is what you're mad about? It's so crazy if you put it into perspective and be grateful for where you're at and so much progress that you've actually made. I mean, this is what's so ironic about it, is that we're ambitious and we have these goals that we set, but at the same time we get frustrated whether we hit them or not. Even if we're close, doesn't matter. But damn, like if I would have gone back and told myself when I was getting out of the military that I would have had a business that just barely missed hitting 7 figures the year that I thought I was going to hit it, I wouldn't have given 2 shits about that. I would have been like, are you serious, dude? Like, I would have just been happy to replace my salary, which was $84,000 a year whenever I left the Army. Like, it's perspective, and gratitude is powerful. So it's the holidays. Everybody has a chance to look back at the year and have a little bit of extra time because people are traveling and, we have more downtime around the holidays. What a perfect time to keep in mind all the progress that you've made, to be grateful and present around the people that you're doing all this for, that you're working so hard for your family that doesn't care whether you have a successful business or not, because they're your family. They're going to support you no matter what. Like, be grateful for that. Be grateful for the fact that you have the health to be able to even do this, that you have a position in life where you have the flexibility to take a chance on yourself. Many people do not. It's just the reality. You are a lucky person. You are a fortunate person. And as soon as you start to realize all these things that you should be grateful for, well, it's kind of hard to be a little bitchy, grouchy person like I was the year that I didn't hit my goal. It's so hard. It just reframes your perspective, gets you out of this, like these blinders on of the negative side of what didn't happen. Keep in mind all the great things that did happen, and then plan to try to have the success that you want to have the next year at this point in time as well. So I hope this is something that resonates with you. It's something that I struggle with to this day. And doing podcasts like this, it helps remind me too of the things that are really important, the things that I've made a lot of progress on that I'm very thankful for. And very grateful to even have the opportunity to do things like this in a number of ways. And that is a powerful thing for anybody to really sit down, appreciate those things, look at the world around you, and appreciate all the wonderful things that are in your life. And even if you're frustrated because your business maybe isn't making the progress that you wanted as fast as you wanted, don't worry about it. If you're putting the work in on the right things, you'll get where you're trying to go. It may not be on the exact timeline that you want sometimes. Sometimes it happens faster. Sometimes it happens slower. But it'll happen. But don't forget about all the other stuff along the way. You don't have to be miserable just to hit the goal that you have. Gratitude is a pretty awesome thing.